Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Unfog with Dr. Atahar Parveen. In this video, let us discuss Gpstr paper 2 physics question paper which is published in the Cacell in our school education website. So this is the second video of solving this model question paper. First video we have discussed mathematics, all 50 questions we have discussed. 40 were from proper mathematics and 10 were from methodology part. In this class we will be discussing entire of the rest of the question paper with the 50 more questions with the physics and methodology or pedagogy. So as I already told you in our previous videos also, this time Gpstr will have only MCQs. Then no negative marking unless and until you skip bubbling any circle in the OMR. If you don't know the answer, then you have to bubble the fifth circle. So entire of your OMR sheet should be filled with the bubbles. And you will not have any descriptive, and in paper 2 you have mathematics and physics for PM method. Okay, you don't need to read chemistry and biology like in Gpstr 2022. Okay, so this class we are going to discuss physics, and with our experience from Gpstr 2022, this is a good model paper, and you can expect this type of questions in your exam also. So without wasting time, let us start. Before that, you have to subscribe this channel if you have not subscribed, and also you can join our Telegram channel. You will get the link in the description below this video. So what you have to do is you watch this class till the end without skipping, and then you can take the model question paper from our Telegram channel and you have to sit and solve by yourself. Okay, so that is the procedure now. So on this note, let us start with question number 51. So the question is, in the symbolic representation of an electric cell, the longer line represents what? It is a negative terminal, positive terminal, direction of current or wire correction. So for a electric cell, how do you actually write? Like this, right? Or a battery you can say. So the lengthy one is actually positive terminal and the smaller one is a negative terminal. So in the symbolic representation of the electric cell, the longer line will represent positive terminal. Next, in which state of matter does heat transfer primarily occur through conduction? So here they are telling liquids, gases, solids and vacuum. They are asking that in which state of matter does heat transfer because of conduction. See, actually heat transfer happens because of conduction more effectively in solids, because in solids particles are closely packed, so heat can easily pass from one particle to another. Next, what is the SI unit of time? This is very dead easy question actually. Don't expect so much easy also. Maybe they have just given some easy questions to just make aspirants happy maybe. But I don't think they will ask such a easy question. Anyway, the answer is second. The device is used to complete or break an electrical circuit. Which is the device? Battery, switch, LED, filament. Of course switch, right? So switch, it will be like this, right? Like this. In the circuit it will be like this, right? So if this is the circuit, this is a open switch. For close, how you draw? Like this, right? So your switch will be like this here and it is closed. So if the switch is closed means the circuit will be working. If the switch is open means the circuit will not work. It is like you are switching off the switch, right? So the answer is switch here. Next, a bicycle covers 3.6 km in 15 minutes. Its speed is. So what is actually the formula of speed? Speed is equals to distance upon time, right? So distance they have given is 3.6 km. You have to be aware on this that the units should always be the smallest possible units. For kilometer, what you do? You have to multiply by 1000 and make it meter. So this one will be 3600 meter. And what about time? They have given 15 minutes. So you can multiply 15 with 60 and make it into seconds. So this one will be 900 seconds. So our speed will be equal to 3600 by 900. So this will get cancelled. 9 ones are 9 fours are. So 4 meter, this one is meter, this one is second, right? So units will be meter per second. Option 2 will be the correct answer here. Actually, I am giving the answers also below the question so that the paid class aspirants will have little bit easy because you can just to go through the notes and you can also correct your answer sheets. Next, question number 56. Metal cooking utensils usually have wooden or plastic handles because. So actually wood and plastic, they are thermal insulators. So they will be reducing heat by reaching our hands. So that's why option 2 should be the correct answer here because they are poor conductors of heat. Next, the time period of a simple pendulum primarily depends on. So the time period of a simple pendulum formula is this, right? T is equal to 2 pi root L upon G. So what is L? L is the length of the string, right? And G is acceleration due to gravity. So the question is the time period of a simple pendulum primarily depends upon. So bob, no. Force, no. Material, no. Only length of the string is there in the formula. It is directly proportional. So option 2 will be the correct answer here. Next, question 58. Which statement about a plane mirror is true? So here image is never laterally inverted. Image formed is laterally inverted. T and O look different in their mirror images. Image is always smaller. So they are talking about plane mirror here. So image formed will be inverted in a plane mirror, right? So a plane mirror causes left right reversal, right? So that left right reversal we call as a lateral inversion. So image formed is laterally inverted. Remember, in plane mirror the image formed is left one will look like right? Like this, right? So we call it as a lateral inversion. Next, a vehicle travels 2 km. It covers first 500 meter at 10 meter per second, next 500 meter at 5 meter per second. What speed is required for the remaining 1000 meter to complete the journey in 200 seconds? So this is a important question. This type of questions they may ask in the exam. So here they are talking about the journey of a vehicle which is 2 km. So this first journey is of 500 meter, next journey is of 500 meter and the third journey is of 1000 meter. So in the first 500 meter the speed is 10 meter per second. In next 500 meter the speed is 5 meter per second. So this is 500 meter and this is also 500 meter. Next in 1000 meters the question is what speed is needed for the remaining 1000 meter to complete the journey in 200 seconds till 200 seconds. This next 1000 meters what should be the speed? That is the question. This is 1000 meters. Okay. So what you have to do here is for first 500 meters what will happen? Time will be equal to, see what is the formula? Speed is equal to distance upon time, right? So with that you will have time is equal to distance upon speed, right? So for first journey of 500 meters speed was 10 meter. So this will give time 50 seconds. Then for next journey again it was 500 meters with 5 meter per second. So this one will give us 100 seconds. Now for third journey the distance is 1000 but we don't know about the time, right? So what should be the time here? This 200 seconds minus this much, right? This 150 seconds, right? So 200 seconds minus 150 seconds is 50 seconds. So this one will be our 20 meter per second. So option 3 will be the correct answer here. So basically first we found out time so that we can find out the velocity, because we need distance and time to find the velocity, or actually speed in this question. Next, question number 60. When heating water in a pan on a gas stove, the correct heat transfer description is. So if you have watched our YouTube channel closely, we have made one nice animated video relating to conduction, convection and radiation. If you have watched it, then you will be easily answering this question. See, pan is a conductor, right? So when heating water, the pan will conduct the heat. Then heat will get transferred to water. That will be happening by convection. After that, it will pass to the surrounding. We call it as radiation. So pan, conduction, water, convection, surrounding by radiation. Option 2 will be the correct answer here. Next, question number 61. A uniform rod of mass m and length L is hinged at one end and released horizontally from rest. When the rod becomes vertical, its angular acceleration is. So basically, this is what the situation is. In the initial position, it was like this. Then in the final position, it was left like this vertically. So now you have to find out the angular acceleration. Center of mass. Here in the horizontal one, it was here. Now in the vertical one, it is here. So rod is falling under gravity in the second situation. So in the vertical position, you can see that the perpendicular distance, if you see, what is the formula for a torque? I will write and show you here. Torque is equal to force into perpendicular distance. But in the vertical scenario, the perpendicular distance is not there because the rod is like this, right? And here you have center of mass. So you have F into 0. So torque will become 0. Right. Now they are talking about angular acceleration. Angular acceleration means we are talking about rotational motion. So for a straight line, we have force is equal to mass into acceleration. But when we talk about rotational motion, tau is equal to moment of inertia into angular acceleration. So here angular acceleration will become 0 because our torque is 0, like this. So our angular acceleration will become 0. So angular acceleration can be alpha. This is the symbol for angular acceleration. And you have to comment to me what is the symbol for angular velocity. If you are a paid class aspirant, then you can easily answer this because the new content we have discussed all this, right? Next, question number 62. A circular loop of radius r and resistance r rotates with angular velocity omega in a uniform magnetic field B perpendicular to its axis. The average electrical power dissipated per revolution is. So this is a tough question. It is not at all a Gpstr level question. Anyway, because it is given in the model paper, we will discuss it also. See, here they are talking about a circular loop. The radius is r, resistance is capital R, and that loop is rotated with angular velocity omega, and there is a uniform magnetic field B which is perpendicular to its axis in that situation. So you have to find the average electrical power dissipated per revolution here because they are rotating it, right? So revolution will come only. So actually here, because they are talking about magnetic field, you should know one thing, that magnetic flux denoted by phi, the formula is BA cos omega t. But A is pi r square for a circle, right? So B is pi r square. Sorry, A is pi r square because it is the area. Then we have cos omega t. There is something known as E naught, the electric field. It is given by Faraday's law as d phi by dt. We put a minus sign because of Lenz's law. If we do differentiation of this minus d by dt into B into pi r square cos omega t, Our answer will be B pi r square, which is a constant. It will come out. If you differentiate cos omega t, you will get omega sin omega t, and this is a minus sign. So this is for E naught. But they are talking about average electrical power, right? Now our average power formula is there, which is important for you. It is E naught square by R. So this formula is important for you. If you just substitute, no, you will get the answer here. So what is our E naught square? Minus will go there, right? So B pi R square omega whole square. Actually sin square omega t also will be there, but that sin square omega t will become half for one revolution, and you have R here. So you have B pi R square omega square, sorry, R to the power 4, right? R square whole square divided by 2R. So this one will be our formula now. B square pi square R to the power 4 omega square by 2R. So option 2 will be the correct answer here. So don't get worried by seeing this question, because they are not at all going to ask you this type of question for sure. Anyway, but because they have given you, I have discussed it here. It's just that they wanted one question from one topic which will be very tough. So they have given this. They may give tough questions also in your exam, but then they will not be of this type. Next, question number 63. The scientist who discovered the magnetic effect of electric current in 1820. So he is Ørsted. This, if you are a paid class aspirant, you will be knowing we have given it in the first chapter only, right? All the list we have given, right? Next, question 64. The magnetic field strength of an electromagnet increases by. So the magnetic field strength of an electromagnet is actually directly proportional to the current. So if the current increases, the magnetic field strength will also increase. So magnetic field strength of an electromagnet increases by increasing in the current which is present in the coil. Next, the force opposing relative motion between two sliding surfaces in contact. Of course, we call it as friction. An example of a non-contact force is, it is a very important question. You can expect this question this time, as it is also they may give so much importance it is having. So the non-contact force example is gravitational force. So if you are a paid class aspirant, you will be knowing we have discussed all this in the regular classes only. Next, school bag straps are made wide because a larger area. See, the school bag straps, see, in a school bag, they will have straps, right? Like this. So they are made wide. Why? Because a larger area increases force, reduces pressure, decreases friction, balances gravity. So this two will not be there, because we are just talking about a school bag. They are talking about area here. So pressure will come into picture. Pressure is equal to force upon area. So they want to reduce the pressure. That's why they are making the straps bigger. Because of the area. See, pressure is inversely proportional to area. Remember this. Next, SI unit of pressure. Of course, it is Pascal. High speed wind over a roof lifts it upward because it creates. See, I have given the diagram to make you understand. See, if you have a home like this, where the roof is in this type of a structure, it is a lighter weight also. So if a high speed wind comes, it will lift the roof upward. Why? Because actually, see, if the speed of the air is more, it will cause lower pressure. So pressure below the roof, it will become more, and it will push that roof upward. This is actually based on Bernoulli's principle. So if the fast airflow is there, means the low pressure will be created. fast moving air will exert less pressure. So that's why option 2 will be the correct answer here. Next, an image formed by a plane mirror is always, it is always what? It is always virtual, erect and laterally inverted. Remember this. A convex lens is, how does a convex lens look? Like this, right? So a convex lens is thick in the middle, and a light ray, it will come like this and it will converge. It will come like this and it will converge. So basically it is thick in the middle and it is converging. Next, vehicles use convex mirrors as rear view mirrors because they provide. See, all this we have discussed in our free classes of optics only. That's why we are insisting aspirants to watch all the free classes. They are very, very important. So vehicles use convex mirrors as rear view mirrors because they actually provide wider field of view, that too with erect images. So even if the vehicle, the driver is sitting in front and is watching from the mirror what is happening in the back side, they will get a wider field of view. That will save lot of accidents, right? Next, the displacement of an object completing one full revolution. This actually, see, here is the object. Again, if it is coming back, so distance will be 2 pi r, the circumference of the circle. What about the displacement? It is going to be 0, and this is a repeated question. This was asked in Gpstr 2022. We remember this actually. It was asked in Gpstr 2022 or Gpstr 2019. Any one question paper, for sure they are asked the same question. Next, a distance time graph parallel to time axis indicates, see, you have distance time graph. So if you have a parallel time axis, it means that the time is going. Here you have time. The time is going, but the distance is not covered. What was there? That only is there. It means that the object is at rest. The inherent property of an object to resist change in its state of rest or uniform motion. Of course, it is what? It is inertia. This is told in Newton's law of motion, the first law. What does it tell? It tells that object at rest stays at rest or it keeps on moving unless you apply an outside force upon it or unless an outside force is acting upon it, right? So the inherent property of an object to resist change in its state of rest or uniform motion is inertia. Next, according to Newton's second law, the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to. So according to Newton's second law, force is equal to rate of change of momentum, right? So here what they are telling, rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to force. So force is there in option 1. So applied unbalanced force. So option 1 will be the correct answer here. Next, if the distance between two objects is doubled, their gravitational force becomes. So this is one object and this is one object. So the distance, if it is r, it has made 2r now. So what will be the gravitational force they are telling? See, originally you have this one, right? G into m1 m2 upon r square, right? So for the new force they are telling G into m1 m2 upon 2r, like this, right? So this one will be equal to 1 by 4 into again your G m1 m2 upon r square, right? So this is nothing but 1 by 4 into F. F is the original gravitational force. So option 4 will be the correct answer here. Next, question number 8. The physical quantity that remains constant for an object on Earth, Moon or in any outer space. See the options: weight, mass, gravitational force, acceleration due to gravity. So this is about Earth. So for different planets it will be different. Mass is going to be same because weight will change. So the correct answer will be mass here, because mass only is the one which remains constant but weight will change because of acceleration due to gravity. See, force is equal to mass into acceleration. But if you talk about weight, it will be m into g. So acceleration due to gravity will come into picture here, so it will change. Okay. Next, question number 79. In science, work is done on an object when a force is applied. And what will happen if you do some work on an object? If you apply a force, that object will move front, right? So the object is displaced. Next, during free fall, the total mechanical energy of the system increases, decreases, remains constant. First increases, then decreases. See, during ideal free fall, the potential energy will change into kinetic energy. So total mechanical energy though will remain same only. Only thing is that potential energy will be converted into kinetic energy. Okay. Next. To hear a distinct echo, the minimum time interval between original and reflected sound must be. Of course, that is 0.1 second. We have discussed in our very old videos also. In the Gpstr 2022, we used to take free classes. There also we have discussed all this. So 0.1 second is the correct answer. Anyway, they have not taken this question paper also seriously. Option 4 is missing in the question in the model paper. Next. A constant force of 5 Newton is applied to an object, giving it an acceleration of, that is missing in the question paper. So what is the mass? So we don't know what is the acceleration. Let us guess. We have guessed one question for you. So if that acceleration is 2.5 meter per second square. So what is the mass? So according to Newton's second law, what is our formula? F is equal to ma. We have to find out mass, right? So that one will be F upon A. So force is 5 Newton and acceleration is 2.5. So this one will be 50 upon 25 or 2 kg. So option 2 should be the correct answer as per this guess question. Next, a household uses a 350 watt toaster for 6 hours per day and 250 watt iron box for 5 hours per day for 30 days at rupees 4 per kilowatt hour. Total cost is, this is related to housing circuits, right? So here you should understand that the units consumed for household electricity, it is usually means in kilowatt hour, and electricity bill also uses kilowatt hour only. So first you have to find out energy. The formula will be power into time. Once you find out the energy, you can easily find out the cost also. So let us start with the toaster. Energy, how much it will be? See, power they are telling 350 watt, but you have to convert it into kilowatt because we are talking about kilowatt hour, and 250 watt will become 0.25 kilowatt. You have to divide it with 1000, right? So here power for toaster will be 0.35. How many hours per day? 6 hours per day. So this one will be 2.1 kilowatt hour per day. Then next appliance is iron box. So here the energy consumed will be 0.25 kilowatt for how many hours per day? 4 hours per day. So this one will give 1, actually 100, but decimal point is there, so you will get 1 kilowatt hour per day. Okay. So what is the total energy now? So total energy will be equal to 2.1 plus 1. So this one will give 3.1 kilowatt hour per day. Now I can easily find out the cost. This cost is for 1 month. You get electricity bill for 1 month, right? So this is equal to what is energy that you have to multiply with 30 days into what is the rate of 1 unit? 4 rupees, right? So 4, right? Because we are talking for 1 month here. So you have 3.1 into 30 into 4. So this one will give you rupees 372. So option 3 will be the correct answer here. Next, an object is placed in front of a convex lens of focal length 20 cm If image distance is 60 centimeter, object distance is, so they are talking about convex lens. So what will be the lens formula? 1 by f is equal to 1 upon v minus 1 upon u, right? So here we have focal length 20, and what is the image distance? It is 60. Object distance we have to find. So 1 by u is equal to 1 by 60 minus 1 by 20. My LCM will be 60. Here I will have 1. Here I will have 2. Sorry, here I will have 3. So minus 2 by 60. So 1 by u will become minus 1 by 30. So u will become minus 30. So 2, option 2 will be the correct answer here. Next, the straight line VI graph, that is IV graph they are telling, indicates that the conductor. So IV graph itself is made from Ohm's law only, right? So it obeys Ohm's law with constant resistance. Option 2 will be the correct answer here. Next, 1000 joule of heat is produced every 2 seconds in a 5 ohm resistor. The potential difference is, so basically power in terms of heat, if you see, it is actually heat upon time. So 2 seconds, it is actually power is equal to heat upon time. So with this, this one will be 500 watt. Now I have to find the potential difference, right? How is power related to potential difference? It is V square by R. So with this I get potential difference V is equal to, actually I should not write V like this. It is for velocity. I should write V like this. So I have V is equal to, this is V square by R. So V will be equal to square root of P into R. So this is equal to square root of power we have calculated, and resistance they have given is 5 ohms. So here I will have 2500 or 50 volts. So option 2 will be the correct answer here. Next, if the number of turns in a current carrying circular loop is increased 10 times, the magnetic field will be. So basically magnetic field at the center of a circular coil is proportional to number of turns n. The formula is B is equal to mu naught Ni upon 2R. So here, if the number of turns in a current carrying circular loop is increasing 10 times, magnetic field also will increase 10 times. Okay. And here B is equal to mu naught Ni upon 2R is there? No. Here B is magnetic field strength, mu naught is the permeability of free space, N is number of turns in the coil, I is current passing through the wire, and R is radius of the circular loop. Better you know this formula and also know the terms. Next, a 880 watt fan is connected to 220 volts. The current and the resistance are. So you should be knowing the two important formula. Current is equal to power upon the voltage, and our Ohm's law V is equal to IR, right? With this we have R is equal to V upon I, right? So this way I can find out the current easily. They have given 880 upon 220. So this is 4 ampere. Now I have current also. Voltage they have given, which is 220 upon 4. So this one will give me 55 ohms. So two formulae you will have to use, 4 ampere and 55 ohms. So current and resistance. Option 2 will be the correct answer here. Next, in an experiment involving a glass prism, if the incident ray enters at 55 degree and emerges at 43 degree, value of angle of deviation is. So you should be knowing the angle of deviation value. I mean the formula, it is very important. Angle of incidence 55 degree, angle of emergence 43 degree, angle of prism, it is always 60 degree. So it is understood. Remember, angle of prism will be 60 degree. So this is equal to 38 degree. That is your angle of deviation. Next, magnetic field lines never cross because. Obviously they never cross. See, at any point magnetic field has only one definite direction. If field lines are crossing means magnetic field will have two directions at same point, which is not possible at all. So that's why if you see the options, a compass needle cannot point in two directions at once. That's why magnetic field lines can never cross each other. Okay. So these were 90 questions, I mean the 40 questions from physics. Now let us see pedagogy part. Question number 91. According to Thomas Kuhn, Planck's introduction of the quantum of radiation represented. See, actually what happened, there was a major change in the existing scientific theories, right? Because the modern physics came into picture, right? So that type of situation we call as a paradigm shift. So here if you see the options, in option 3 you have a paradigm or a paradigm, they call it shift, because that is what is actually broken the classical physics and brought the modern physics into light. So that situation we call as the shift in paradigm. So it is actually very much obvious, this option, but then if you see other options you may get scared. And this is just you have to know the meaning, then you can easily understand the answer. If you know physics little bit, if you have tried to understand physics, then you will easily answer this question. Next, scientific theories are best described as definitive laws that never change, no. Permanent explanations after peer review. Tentative frameworks that can be revised with new evidence. This is what is actually scientific theories or research we call as. In the scientific method, a law differs from a theory because theory is a guess and law is absolute truth. We cannot say anything as absolute truth here. Next option, a law describes phenomena while a theory explains interconnected phenomena and predicts new ones. So this is correct one for a meaning or difference between law and a theory. Question 94. Why is skepticism fundamental to science? So actually scientific claims you can actually critically examine. You can also independently verify it. So skepticism means actually something you want to believe with proofs. So scientifically skepticism is encouraged only. And it is basically fundamental to science because it is encouraging independent checking of observation and theories. Next, the role of science teacher has shifted from transmitter of knowledge to, of course, facilitator. Many aspirants in our Telegram group keep us calling facilitators because that is how the role of science teacher is actually. The teacher facilitates experiences through which learners can construct their knowledge. A short activity or prompt that focuses attention and links previous learning to the current lesson is called. So this type of a activity we call it as anticipatory set, wherein the learner can have sort of, you can say, revision, you can say. Okay. Next, question number 97. An integrated whole of lessons where each part leads to the next is called a teaching learning unit. Option 1 will be the correct answer here. Next, the first step in lesson planning, forming the basis for subsequent steps is. So what should be the first step in planning? It should be setting the learning objectives. That is why every time we make the timetable. So that timetable is basically the setting the objectives. So these are all our aims. We have to do it within time, right? So option 3 is the correct answer here. Next, a key tool a teacher can maintain to record professional activities and reflect on performance is performance based. They are talking about professional portfolio. They are talking about the professional activities here. Next, a systematic investigation conducted by a teacher to solve classroom problems and improve teaching practices is, that is our action research. So even the pedagogy questions were easy only, even the physics question paper, except 2 or 3 questions, it was easy only. So if you get this type of quality of question paper in your exam, then you will be very lucky. And we are also hoping so, because if we keep in mind the Gpstr 2022 question paper, it was literally dead easy. This time it may not be that dead easy because of the change in the syllabus, but if they are giving the question paper with this level, then you are very lucky. So please, still on this note also, don't take it lightly, take it seriously, because there is change in syllabus. So you never know what will be the mindset of the question paper setter. So you have to take things seriously. Anyway, you have done much of mathematics. Now you have to focus on physics. Anyway, I am not telling you to neglect mathematics, but then you know many of the basics of mathematics now, right? But physics, many topics have been added now. So take it little bit seriously and make a nice timetable and give nice time to all the subjects and do justice with all the topics. Not only paper 2, I am also talking about paper 1. Okay, thank you. All the best. Bye.